Everybody talks about product market fit or service market fit, but we believe a founder market fit is as important to be understood. People only knew marketing as ads and sales and a lot of that.
What is the role of marketing in a startup?
The very simplistic layman terminology for us to define marketing is putting out your story, speaking out your journey is how you are going to reach out to the right customers, the right collaborations, the right set of people.
What are you going to do differently which a ChatGPT is not doing?
ChatGPT is a very generalistic tool. It's not scraping out what's already available and scraping out through your customized solution. So our chatbot is very customizable, it's very specific, it's specific to marketing, and it's dependent on what you feed in. It's not dependent on the all that's already available. And we want to be not just another outsourced agency or a consulting firm, but strategic partners in growth. We want to be partners to their growth journey, and we want to make them realize that marketing is the way to go, and it is as important as you think of building a service or building a product or refining your team. And that's where we come in.
Hello and welcome to a super fantastic Gen Z special episode of Which Cafe podcast. I cannot tell you how excited I am today to speak with Nikita Singh, one of the founders of Aam Pannaa Creations. Aam Panna is the name of a mango drink with a twist. It is very popular in North India. Imagine you're an early stage startup and you get the Aam Panna twist to your startup to launch it into a whole new orbit. That is the power of good, realistic marketing. But hey, Aam Pannaa is not an ordinary startup. They are creating an AI chatbot whose persona is that of a chief marketing officer. Last year, when ChatGPT created a lot of buzz, we were all wondering what AI can do. Today, we have a Gen Z founder who is actually realizing it. We are getting a CMO co-pilot, basically an AI that can run the CMO role. This is very exciting for me because AI and humans are creating something incredible, and we have just the right person to share how this is happening. Nikita, welcome to Pitch Cafe podcast. I'm super honored and super excited to have you.
Thank you so much, Vida, for having me. And I'm also super excited to share my journey and talk to you and have this conversation.
Wonderful. So tell me, Nikita, what was that moment where you realized that you have to do Aam Pannaa Creations? You could have done anything. For all you know, you worked for a VC firm. You were in the marketing role, and then you work at Clay Lab Foundations. You've had several exciting roles in content, but why did you decide to do this? It's a very complex job which you're trying to execute with the help of a chatbot, and there are so many skeptics. Tell us all about how you started Aam Pannaa Creations and what you guys do.
As you rightly said, yes, it comes with a lot of challenges, but I have had different roles, and I come from an entrepreneurial background. So finance, conversations around startups, businesses, everything were normal conversations for me. My brother and my parents are both entrepreneurs. And that is what always instilled in me the instinct that I wanted to do something of my own. I moved into different roles from corporates to startups and finally to VC to understand the experience, to how the world runs, how we see things, how startup things, what are the corporate experiences. But finally, when I moved to US last year to meet my brother and stayed there for 4 months while I was working with a VC, I realized that India still has a lot of potential of doing a lot of things that still has not been utilized. And creativity was something that came to me all the go. I had been an author, I used to write, I had so many things on my plate, and I wanted to really go beyond and do something for the ecosystem. When I came back from there, I realized that I wanted to do something for the ecosystem in terms of the elderly community with the artist. But then that also became a very hard born decision because A, elderly in the Indian ecosystem, hard to define, and B, artists, again, a thing that you have to create a category out of. And it was in December when I was conversating with my brother and telling him that I had had enough with corporates and VCs and whatever I wanted to do, and this is getting more of monotonous than being creative. And that is when my brother said, let's brand something and start something. And I think January was when I went down to my father and said, it's enough. I want to start something of my own. And that is
Yeah.
when my family came together with all supports and said, yes, that's what we are here to support and here to take your wings high. And in January is when we started ideating, thinking through, because marketing was something that I was into and I had seen a lot of gray areas. I found
Yeah.
out that there was a lack of knowledge. I found out that it was price sensitive, the market was cluttered. People only knew marketing as ads and sales and a lot of that. And in February, we registered our company, Aam Pannaa Creations, and we started off as a marketing consultation firm that was born out of the need for strategy. People knew
Yeah.
about content, community, and a lot of things, but we wanted to stick to
Yeah.
the part that strategy is the key to a good marketing for any company. And we wanted
Yeah.
to reduce the customer cost of acquisition, reduce the burnouts, and increase the ROIs. And that is how we focused on organic marketing and advocacy, that's personal branding for founders. And from there, the journey has been great ahead. And we now have productized our company. We've moved into an AI chatbot that we have built, which is a virtual CMO. We have clients from across India and the globe, and we want to take this forward into the right direction. And we want to be not just another outsourced agency or a consulting firm, but strategic
Yeah.
partners in growth. We want to be partners to their growth journey, and we want to make them realize that marketing is the way to go. And it is as important as you think of building a service or building a product or refining your team. And that's where we come in.
Wonderful. So, tell us in layman's words, what is the role of marketing in a startup? For example, I can say that marketing's job is going out there, understanding the customer, and communicating those requirements to the engineering. So, engineering can build it. This is one way of defining marketing. Another way of defining marketing is the complexities inside your startup. You take it out and give a story for people to understand your product. Marketing can be defined in so many ways. What do you define marketing for startups in at Aam Pannaa Creation?
I think the very simplistic layman terminology for us to define marketing is putting out your story, speaking out your journey is how you are going to reach out to the right customers, the right collaborations, the right set of people. Because everybody talks about a product market fit or service market fit, but we believe a founder market fit is as important to be understood because there are startups that are great ideas, but it's not necessary that those founders were the right ones to build those ideas. And that is where challenges come in. Putting down your story one step at a time, which is not just a glorification of your achievements, glorifications of how startup world looks like, is
Yeah.
full of vulnerability is what we define as marketing. And that is the power of organic. Because when we say organic, you don't have to build an ads, you don't have to force
Yeah.
reach it out to customers. Your
Yeah.
customers connect with you on a regular basis and want to come back and read your story and feel connected to them. And that's what, as simple as what the role of marketing is.
Wonderful. So, this journey is super exciting because you've got an AI involved, and then more so an AI chatbot. You can build so many things with AI. You can build a data-driven tool. You can build at an infrastructure layer. You can catalyze your products. But why did you pick to do an AI chatbot? You could have done so many other products. There are searches, intelligent searches, there are intelligent inferences, but why did you pick chatbot?
A very good question that you've asked, and a lot of agencies pivot into data driven sources, and data mining is the new rule, as you say. But I think why chatbot? Because we precisely, when we ideated on building a chatbot and a virtual CMO, we realized that we as founders have a lot already with us. When we sit down to write conversations, we sit down to fill forms for residency programs, escalations, incubators, even build a pitch deck. We're actually
Yeah.
reiterating and rewriting the same information again. But ask yourself if
Yeah.
you want to sit back and write one simple LinkedIn post. Do you still have everything on the paper and ready and just want to shoot it? No. And that is why a chatbot comes in easy. It just pushes you to answers those questions that you actually have answers to already, and then it gives you the required directions, required strategies, and required content to move it forward. And I think chatbot, because
Right.
it's more of time sensitive and articulative, because the industry data mining is still skeptical to some extent because AI still needs human interventions, and that is where a one-on-one
Yeah.
conversation and the human touch is important. And when a chatbot asks you a question, it's giving you that humanistic feel. It's giving you ways to pause, reflect back on your startup and your journey, and then create that personal brand around the same.
I have two questions in mind right now. First question is, right away, I use a lot of ChatGPT, and then I want to ask, what are you going to do differently, which ChatGPT is not doing? But then along those lines is another question. AI agents are becoming the hottest industry. Everybody's talking about them. Are you building an AI agent?
To answer the first one, yes, ChatGPT is a very generalistic tool. It's not scraping out what's already available and scraping out through your customized solution. So our chatbot is very customizable. It's very specific. It's specific to marketing, and it's dependent on what you feed in. It's not dependent on the all that's already available. B, it's
Yeah.
structured around what you respond. Now, when we say you have to answer in the next 20 to 30 minutes, every question
Yeah.
is dependent on the previous answer that you've given. So it understands what industry you come from, what are your challenges, what are your goals, and gives you a structured, consistent way to do it. And I think that's the very primary reason which makes us different. Secondly, what's most important is when we say virtual CMO, we've actually trained the chatbot to function like a real CMO. The structures, the processes that we at our Aam Pannaa Creations use, the structures and the processes generally founders and CMOs use to strategize their personal brand and marketing needs, and what's available has been accumulated into one full knowledge base, and that is how it's being trained. So that's totally different to what is already available as ChatGPT.
So it's not an agent.
You can categorize it as an agent, but it's specifically customizably trained. So it's synonymous, but not exactly the same.
When the ChatGPT mania started, the lot of people, I think in December 2022, some of the top AI influencers in the world wrote how to revolutionize marketing, where and all ChatGPT can contribute. I got into a debate with a unicorn founder, is like a very famous entrepreneur, and he said he is building a co-pilot too. So I said, you're building a co-pilot, why don't you let it take over as CEO? And then he completely opposed it and said humans are required, and you can't have like a out and out AI, a CEO or a CMO or a CTO. You're saying the same thing. You're saying human input is incorporated. So you're doing the right thing here.
Yes, I think human input is incorporated and it's important. And that is where we're trying to also be time sensitive, because founders actually do not have as much time to have a CMO or an actual person and train him, give him the data, and then get the output. So you can systematically sit and find out your strategies and content with your own available knowledge base into the chatbot within a short span of time, and then just distributed it on the personal branding level.
Wonderful. So, my question here is, after you gave me all this information, like very intuitively, I feel you're working with a lot of data. If you have one client, you're building a database, like you're building a whole repository of behaviors and datas and I don't know, structures where you understand the organization. Are you ever going to be using that to sell extra services, or are you going to give projections to the company and build extended services?
That's a good question, and that's a far-fetched thought for us for now, because our primary focus is to be purpose-driven and be very true to what we are trying to do. And we do not want to sell out any data that come back to us. So data privacy is very important for us. And I think extended services would be all human touch and human services that we custom around the community that we're trying to build, the way we're going to give human touch. But I don't think we are in any favors of using this data as a projection point for anything. And even if those come to our plates, we might think over different directions and with the permissions of all our customers who are our partners.
I want to ask you this pivotal moment where you felt that, hey, look, this is working. We have some sort of a fit. We have to go after more customers. Like, when did you feel that? Like, what were the parameters you saw which were looking good that you took the plunge?
I think there were 2 points, two major pivotal points that came in. One, we were part of FabC Venture Builders program, which is one of the venture builders that takes you from 0 to 1 journey, and then it takes you forward. And when I was having a conversation with the partners, I went back to tell them, hey, we are still a service-based company, but I don't see this moving forward, and the replication for a service based company becomes difficult because
Yeah.
I started it with my expertise. I cannot replicate 10, 20 people with the same expertise. And I want
Yeah.
to take into a productization model. And that is when one of the venture builders who was supporting us said, why not try an AI chatbot, something around virtual CMO? Now, when I sat back with my advisors on board, he said, and he's luckily one of the founders of another company based in US. So he gave me data points and said that I, as a founder, sit back every time to just see and think over what I can market, how I can use the information I already have. Why not
Yeah.
have something what we already have as a solution? So
Yeah.
a solution came in from another solution was one point that took him forward. Another thing that made it very confident for us was when I was looking into different communities and different places and went back to us, hey, I'm a non-tech founder and I want to build a tech tool. Though I come from a
Yeah.
marketing background, I have the pain points, interviews, everything. To our surprise, there were close to 5 to 6 VCs within the next 1 week who came on board and said, hey, whatever you're building, we are very happy to take in certain amounts of equities and just take this forward. And we think this has potential, and in the next 5 years, this can grow into different scales, and not just in the Indian market, in the US ecosystem as well.
Yeah.
And these 2 points like really reacted to the fact that A, they are venture builders and venture capitals who see potential in what we are building, not just because it is another AI tool in the marketing. And B, there are real founders who are giving us pain points and different viewpoints to take this forward. And that is how we've been
Awesome.
taking this forward ahead, asking people to give their actual feedbacks rather than us defending them that this is the best.
One of the most exciting moments in startup journey is building a team. Tell me about your team. What kind of people did you hire? What is your founding team like?
A very interesting question, and I think for me, the first set of support came from my family, and I got the tech support from my brother, who is an IITian and an MS from John Hopkins, USA. And he was building his own diagnostic tool in the US with which has a registered company. So a lot of feedbacks, a lot of the right surroundings of the founder world, the Western ecosystem, everything came from him. And then the second advisor who came on board was my mother, who's another person from a finance and science background. And she also is one of the directors of our family businesses. So she also comes in with a lot of support system, understanding of the finances, setting up the right team. And to move forward, the founding team had a lot of people around the same. I got support from people from having their expertise in hiring and operations to people who had strategy and finance as their background, and then obviously moving to AI and tech tools. And today, when we see, we have people from various engineering institutes of the country, from IIT, DTU, BITS Plani, to people from psychological and sociological background to understand human
Yeah.
behaviors for our product. And then people across the globe. As I said, one sitting in the US,
Wonderful.
another one who built the AI tool actually sits in the Dubai ecosystem. What's important is we have built in a culture where we actually sit back, even as a family, sit and enjoy a lot of health talks, a lot of culture building, a lot of things around building up upskillment. And I think our team has been the solid point at this point of moment.
With that, I want to ask you some of the hardest moments you faced. I know you're part of Microsoft Startups Founders Hub and now Build Space. These are ecosystems to have nurtured you. But really, what was the point where you felt, it's not going to work out? I don't know what I'm doing. I should just move on. Did you ever feel that way?
I think that's every founder's way of having those. And I think resilience is one important thing that comes in only when you have challenges and pitfalls. Because if it's a smooth journey, it's not going to sail forward. I think for me, the first 2 months were really critical and crucial because we were in a very cluttered ecosystem, in a messed ecosystem where digital marketing is every second person doing it. And to make people understand what we are doing, why we are doing in the right way was difficult. And there have been points, to be honest,
Yeah.
where one odd customer took in services, went back and said, okay, I think I cannot give in as much time as you seek from us to build this, and we don't want to take it forward. Or even for one particular week where we were trying to pitch into 50, 60 customers and we couldn't close any of them. And there were setbacks. But what actually helped us in those moments was A, a strong team, and B, a process of always sitting down every week and writing what were our challenges, why did this week
Yeah.
thing not work, and what were our action
Yeah.
plan and what can we change. And I think that
Very
is what
nice.
has made us move forward and where we are today.
That's an amazing framework. What did we do this week? Did it work or not? And what can we change, right? That's amazing. So, on that note, I want to ask you, you're part of Microsoft startups, and founders have been build space of late. Build space, you and I are together in it. So, tell me what it's been like. And you said you were also part of a venture builder firm. So,
Yeah.
tell me how each of these is different and why they're different.
A venture builder firm is precisely which helps you co-build in some sense, gives you access to various minute tools. They have sessions, etc. And they are people who seek further venture capital as the way forward for you. So they help you see those parts and help you also understand how you are a founder fit. Are you a exit VC? Exit founder, or are you a VC founder, passionate founder? All of those terms and how you can scale from zero to one. While all of these cohorts that we are part of are networking and tools and support systems for us to take things forward, I think these are three different zones and three different ways to move forward, as said. Specifically talking about Microsoft as a way for us, I think that's been a very pivotal role in our journey. Being a non-tech founder, building a tech tool has been the biggest challenge because A, you don't have the expertise. B, it has a lot of cost involved because if you outsource somebody, it gets to a bigger cost. But with the credits that we get from Microsoft, we are able to build it through Azure. We get experts from across the globe. We get a lot of sessions, resources to work with. We also have access to partner tools at a very lower cost. When I talk about LinkedIn Premium, it gets on a lower cost. When I talk about other tools like Micro, we get at a lower cost. And I think that's how it has been very crucial for our journey at this very moment. And it also has given validation to our team to be stronger, and we are capable of building this forward ahead with different validations from the ecosystem. Talking about Build Space, it's another networking platform for us, and I think a lot of feedbacks, a lot of motivation is what has come here. And that's where the fact that I have always reiterated and spoken about is we believe in a collaborative world and a collaborative system more than a competitive ecosystem. And that's
Yeah.
very crucial for us. And that's
Yeah.
what has helped us all through. Because if we move on to competing, I
Yeah.
think that's not going to help.
Yeah, one of the things I liked about Build Space is they push you to put your concept out there. We are so hesitant because we feel people will copy us, or we are going to give away our idea. But really putting it out there, it just gives us so much confidence. And what did you feel about Founders Hub? What was your experience like?
I think for the Founders Hub, our experience so far has been pretty much good. We've got access to a lot of resources, expertise, and everything. And I think whenever we get back to a challenge building an AI tool that we are on, we are very confident that we can at least, if not use any credit or sources, go back to an expert back in Startups Microsoft Startups Hub and just ask him, hey, we are building this and we are stuck here. Can you help us? And the best part is most of these cohorts give you only access as a founder, but Microsoft also has a way where you can add in your teammates who are actually building the tech tool. So it's not just me who has to go back and find out the way. If the technical team does not get the right support, they can utilize whatever space they have. And it's again in the Indian ecosystem for sure a validation that we're building something in the right direction and it's being supported.
So, on that note, tell me something fun about yourself. What is Nikita like on a day where she's not working, or does she work all the time?
Precisely nowadays it's all work. But I think one fun thing that you would find about me is trying as many ice creams as you can. And I also try recreating them myself. So when I travel back in the US. I remember a lot of ice cream stores that I had access to, and I tried there. And way back home, I was just finding ways to retry and make them myself. And the second thing you find me is around books. Even if I don't read them, I collect a lot of books. So somewhere
Wonderful.
around the future, I might be having another startup that revolves around books because the funniest part at home is my parents are like, it's enough. There's no space for books now, but I don't stop buying them. So these are two funny cycles. And I also love to write poetry, and that is
Uh,
where my first book came in. And Any situations, any ups and highs and lows, any emotions, I involve them into.
Amazing. So I think we have something in common. I also hoard books. My home does not have any decorative items. They are only decorated with books. And also I love poetry. On that note, I know we have a rap song on Aam Pannaa Creations, and you and I have put in a lot of effort. Would you like to share the rap song with the audience?
Yes, for sure. From startup grind where dreams are born, Aam Pannaa Creations we transform. AI chatbot, a virtual CMO, helping founders grow, making it so. Aam Panna changing the game. Innovative moves, remember the name. Branding to leads, we make it fly. With AI on our side, reaching for the sky. Microsoft Hub, build space glory. Partnerships shine, that's our story. Web scraping magic, pushing the bar. Outshining others, we raise the star. Aam Panna Creations, changing the game. Innovative moves, remembering the name. Branding to leads, we make it fly with AI on our side, reaching to the sky. From idea spark to success glory, every journey we help glow. Organic growth, insights bright, making marketing easy, shining light. Aam Panna Creations, changing the game, innovative moves, remembering the name. Branding to leads, we make it fly. With AI on our side, reach for the sky.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that amazing rap. I really like the way everything is showcased in a very quick poetry like form, but again, it's a rap, so you can sing it. So Nikita, on that note, as a wrap up question, what's next for Aam Pannaa Creations? Are you looking for funding, or are you putting your heads down and just building the product? What's your roadmap looking like?
I think for now, the first instinct would be to put all our heads into making the best product for the world across, getting a first set of 1,000, 2,000 customers who proudly can say that this is the next generative AI virtual CMO that they want to have for life. But alongside, we are also open to any opportunities that come across from any of the venture builders, venture capitalists, to sail this together and make this journey smoother and smarter and faster for us.
Thank you so much, Nikita. I know you're participating in the campaign for the book 10 on 10, the startup playlist. You already sang a rap for us about the startup journey, and today you sang a rap for us about Aam Pannaa Creations. We'd love to make you part of all the organizations that will be part of the 10 on 10 campaign. We are partnering with many incubators and venture builders and many more organizations. We're happy to bring you on there. Thank you so much. And yeah, let's bring you back on. Let's see what you're up to in a few months from now. And let's chat again.
Thank you so much. It was a great conversation, reflecting back on our journey and singing that rap, bringing out my creativity, and to have you have this lovely conversation and your viewpoints. And thank you so much for doing this for all founders and bringing out the book.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Bye.